Now, Project Hope isn't just for the summer months. Almost a dozen deputies are assigned to the program. We're here at Cobalt Plaza where the water is coming over the spillway and rushing down into the Congaree River. Water lines like these are still seen on cars and businesses in the 5 Points area. Now, Monday night's storm affected more than 24 businesses, and business owners say they're about to take more precautionary measures. If the Senate gives the green light to the House budget plan, the dollars will go into effect when the next fiscal year begins in July. Carrier says the tree that fell on his house was about the size of this one across the street. Now, he says Friday's storm that swept through Columbia caused high winds, which uprooted the tree from right here, then caused it to fall straight onto the house right above the dining room area. Right now, he's being held at Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center, where Lott says he's not cooperating with officials. Sheriff Lott says they could find more victims as investigators continue to work on the case. Investigators say the suspect was shot by the owner, came out of Gamers, hopped into the getaway vehicle where there were 2 other suspects, and then took off down Broad River Road. Now, what are you guys going to do when you come out in a second to make sure that those defensive gaps are closed? And we talked to a lot of supporters who say they're ready to make sure that Rubio carries this momentum into Nevada. Live in Columbia, Shelli Adamczyk, Watch Fox News.
More, Shelli.
Sheriff Lee Foster opened this particular class to the public. He wants parents to know sexting, social media, and cell phone abuse is a trend they see far too often in Newberry County. The corner of Calhoun and Meeting Street, and as you can see behind me, we're told that members of the church are now being led into TD Arena here in Charleston. Now, here in South Carolina, DHEC reports just 1 case of travel-associated Zika virus. And as far as you had mentioned, the condition today is very wet and slippery. What are you going to do to make sure those offensive plays are executed as well?
We got to get out of it, and we're going to try to find a way to do it here in the second half.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Shelli.
People charged with drug trafficking face up to 25 years in prison if convicted. Sheriff Anthony Dennis says they will continue to conduct more sting operations in Sumter County. Senator Creighton Coleman telling me today he's somewhat confused by Reeves calling for his resignation, adding that he feels comfortable in his role as senator and with the community. Britt Friendy, that's right. I'm here at AC Flora High School, just one of the 33 shelters throughout the state that are taking in people, providing resources for them after this historic flooding. I went along with Richland County deputies on a sting operation targeting the Johns. Wednesday, Attorney General Alan Wilson said the mandate is not, quote, one size fits all. Both Wilson and the governor say they trust the state's individual school districts to handle the transgender issue. But 2 state lawmakers took things a step further Wednesday. Advocates from the task force report there were more than 150 victims reported in 2015. Now they say they're ready to do whatever it takes to reduce that number. Linnea Bacon knows her way around the soccer field, but what she didn't know about were the effects of a severe head injury.
A girl ran up from behind me and just collided with me really hard from behind, and my neck just kind of whipped, whiplash, and I didn't really think anything of it. I kept practicing for a week and kept heading balls, and my symptoms got progressively worse, and until the fact where I was like, okay, something's wrong.
Beyond the headaches, there are other things that are going to be affected, and your child's brain, you can't put a Band-Aid on that.
Linnea sat out for more than half of her junior soccer season at Spring Valley High School. She spent the next 6 months in and out of school, falling more and more behind in her classes.
By the end of the week, when she was studying for 3 tests and she started getting nauseous, then we were like, okay, this doesn't sound like your typical concussion.
With an initial head injury, there is cognitive deficit and difficulty with memory and concentrating and getting their academic work done. And it's important to focus on getting them well the first time around and not rushing back and sustaining a second injury before you're fully recovered.
Mention concussions and most people think football or NFL. But experts say girls are suffering far more concussions than boys in sports.
When you look at soccer, it's a 2 times greater risk for young ladies compared to men. It's a 3 times greater risk in softball compared to baseball, and a almost 2 times greater risk with basketballs.
Doctors say it's because females have longer necks, making them more susceptible to head injuries from whiplash. And Linnea's teammates are no strangers to this type of injury.
I had to be in a dark room for a long time, the lights hurt and everything. I couldn't even watch TV because the sound and the light hurt.
And so basically I was just like sleeping most of the day.
Freshman Elise Hurley has suffered 2 concussions playing soccer. She now wears headgear to prevent another injury.
If I get a third, I'm done playing soccer.
The risk of a concurrent injury while you're actively concussed becomes a very serious medical problem, leading to more severe symptoms.
That's why Linnea says she hopes other female athletes are more cautious.
You might be questioning whether you have a concussion. I would say definitely sit it out. Go to a trainer, get help, just be 100% positive that it's not a concussion before you go back and try to play, because I made that mistake.
A mistake, experts say, can have some life-altering consequences. In Columbia, Shelli Adamczyk, Watch Fox News. During October's flooding, Harvest Hope served more than 2.2 million meals to flood victims. Now, CEO Denise Holland says, especially going into the holiday season, that need is only going to increase. Right now, the Department of Juvenile Justice serves 16,000 young people. 9 years ago, that number was more than 26,000.